Hello?
Well, hello, everyone. It is time for I Stream, You Stream. I am Lord Cash, being joined by BitOfRits and AllThatPat over that way.
Right over here, yes. Wonderful day for everybody here over in the New York area. Hopefully it's just as good for you in the Orlando chapter of the New York Nerds.
Yep, I believe Elsa has traveled into the great unknown.
We got her the other night, and we are frozen.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah, that wasn't a good one.
No, it's all right.
Yes. What was good, though, was episode 5 of Loki and Disney Plus, Lord Cash. Let's hit the ground running. I can't help it. I clap when I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this episode was titled Journey into Mystery. But again, to make sure we do keep the mystery, if you have not seen this episode, here is your warning. Full spoilers for episode 5 of Loki. We are going to be covering everything. You have been warned. Turn back now if you have not seen episode 5. Go watch it. It is an excellent episode. So coming off the heels of episode 4, we see both Mobius and Loki get pruned to only find out that Loki wakes up in this apocalyptic version of what we kind of believe is to be somewhat New Yorkish. And he's being stared down by not one, not two, not even 3, but 4 different versions of Loki.
That's just the start, because as the episode unfolds, we see even more Lokis.
Absolutely. It is like there
Wait.
are
Lokis, Loki, Lokiuses.
Well, I would say, because typically it has to revert to whether you're Greek or there's that where the word comes from will determine how you pluralize it. Since he's a Norse background, I have zero idea.
You're taking this much more seriously than I meant it.
You ask a question, I'm going to take it serious. This is I Stream, You Stream. This is Loki. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel Cinematic Universe. I take everything serious, ma'am.
I feel like they probably said it in the episode. We weren't taking that good of notes.
I don't know. But here's the question to all of you out there in this MCU, the universe that is the Marvel fans, is what is the proper pluralizations of more than one Loki?
I feel like what we should ask is, which was your favorite Loki of the episode outside of the main 2 characters?
Well, here's what I have to say. You know how a group of flamingos is called a flamboyant?
Mm-hmm.
And quite possibly a group of crows is called a murder?
Yes.
What is a group of Lokis called?
I don't know, but don't call them late for dinner.
Called a mischief.
Yes, thank you. I was
That'd be good.
what's he's the
He's the
god?
god of mischief.
Yeah.
I saw that online, and I'm stealing it, and I'm playing it here. But anywho's, this was episode 5. What was your take of the episode? Second to the episode. Whoa, words. The second to the last episode. What was your takeaway from this show?
Definitely one of relief, because episode 4 left us with some trauma, so to speak, of seeing Mobius and Loki getting pruned, like we mentioned.
I did not expect that Sylvie would self-prune. We were kind of saying that, what's the judge's name?
Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer, obviously, where she doesn't seem like she's a good character, but I can't totally understand her need, I guess, for finding out who is behind everything, since she still seems pretty loyal to them, regardless of the fact that like there's no particular rhyme or reason for some of the things other than like what has been passed down and told.
Well, I feel like
Right.
it's a case of blind faith, where
Yeah.
there are some people, even in today's day and age, where you can
No
kind of.
politics.
I know, so you can make the connections here, but I do think there are a lot of people in the world that we live in today that do carry on and operate on a thing of blind faith. They don't know why or what, but they do believe it to be true. And I feel that Renslayer is following that same kind of a mindset.
Yeah, I can understand how one could make those connections, and I would even say even to hey, we're gonna bring in politics. Let's bring in the other thing that people don't talk about. Let's talk about religion. Both of those have a blind, there's a blind faith on both of those accounts where people have to, they're told one thing and they believe it. And even Mobius, when he was talking to Loki in a previous episode, is like, it's true because I believe it.
Right.
Just as much as you believe that you are from Asgard and you have this and you can do that, is just as much belief that I believe that the timekeepers are doing what they have to do to make sure that the sacred timeline is intact.
Right.
So obviously with the pulling back of the curtain, if you will, from episode 4, showing that the timekeepers were in fact, robots, androids, or whatever you wish to refer them as. Now it's like, okay, well, who built them? Who put them in place? And that's basically what I think a little bit like even Renslayer, I think she is trying to find out what's going on, because even when she was walking down the hallway, she was talking to Miss Minutes about, what are these files about the beginning of the time of the TVA? Where is that? And she's basically saying, I'm still working on it. They're still trying to get all those, finding where those files are. So I think she's still in the dark, but she's also not wanting to create a mass panic, if you will.
Right.
So,
Maybe trying to get ahead by telling them, or something, like she's thinking it will make her.
Yeah.
But she seems to know, like that they're not actually, like, she has a lot of knowledge about what is actually going behind the scenes. So at times I wasn't sure if maybe she was behind it, but obviously as things unfolded, it was clear that she wasn't.
Yeah, no, she was surprised, just like the viewers and everybody else, as far as characters go, to find out that the Muppets, so to speak, of the lizards are, like I said, wordless robots.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see how everything was unfolding in this episode, with, of course, I'll say our Loki getting connected with the other Lokis of the, essentially what they're calling themselves at the Void, and trying to get away from this creature called Eliath, I believe.
Yeah.
This big smoke monster of a creature that just pretty much devours everything and anything that's in its path. Yes.
I feel like he reminded me of the Aladdin. What was the thing?
The Cave of Wonders.
Yes.
I can see how one might, go there, depending on, how he looks and everything. He looks very menacing, of course, with the eyes lit up and kind of have that Cave of Wonders-esque, except for if you get caught in this, Cave of Wonders, pretty much you die.
Yeah, you're not going to meet Robin Williams wearing genie pants. You're going to be turned into a skeleton.
You don't know.
Oh, we saw the visual evidence. I think that we do.
Well, things passing through him. Maybe the things inside of him are having a party.
Something like that.
It could be that anything is possible, though. I did notice that pretty much anything of metal kind of gets like oxidized and gets that rust on it when it goes and attacks the bus. When as since we've already mentioned that Sylvie self prunes and ends up in the Void. The the creature pretty much attacks the bus that she lands in, which is in a nest. There's like a bird nest that she's in. There's even like an eggshell in there. So, and when it goes through the bus, it pretty much just oxidizes it and makes it all rusty looking.
Right. Well, even the boat too. Yeah. I mean, and then obviously as we see later in the episode when classic Loki,
That was sad.
Yeah, does. But he sacrifices.
Yeah,
he does accomplish something. But yeah, his crown does end up surviving. But yeah, very much rusted.
Yeah.
Now the alligator Loki I found hysterical because it would be such a serious scene, and then they'd pan to him, and he never changed his. Like he wasn't smiling or like he doesn't show emotion.
He showed anger though when he went to presidential Loki. He bit his hand off.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely that scene. Basically, I call him Hook Loki now.
Yeah, right.
Which is
they had that poster you showed us, I think, right? That was that version on one of the posters.
Yes. So when we dive into those Easter eggs, I do have an image of that to show and everything kind of to correlate. But what is interesting, and I didn't put together this, but I was going to mention it. But since we've already kind of alluded to it a little bit, there was a Tinkerbell movie that featured James Hook, and it was voiced by Tom Hiddleston.
Is that Loki?
That's who the actor that plays Loki. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I. Okay.
So, but it was pre-Hook times.
Oh, okay.
So basically, at the end of the movie, he kind of gets chased away by the alligator of Neverland area, and but it's again that little. Not people, obviously there was never a connection here, but the fact that his hand gets bitten off, similar to that of Captain Hook, and he voiced Captain Hook in a Tinkerbell movie. So I thought that was amazing.
So as you're watching, everybody, we just want to thank you for watching us tonight. But yeah, which of the many Lokis that we saw on last night's episode, did you actually enjoy the most? There's so many of them out there. Some you saw for a lot, some just for a split second. Throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear you share. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this.
Yes.
I will say too that we didn't watch the preview for the show because we don't do that. But I know you did, Lord Cash. But it was funny because when you showed me that one poster of the President Loki, like to me, when the first episode, I was like, what is going on? I thought there was like some presidential Loki. So it's obviously took a while for him to come out. So
yeah. Well, because they kind of say that there are so many Lokis because Lokis are always trying to better themselves and they always have to get slapped down.
Right.
And so with that, there are just tons of Lokis, just in this screenshot alone, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 plus our version of Loki. That's not including the other 3 or 4 that are off camera,
right?
Not including Sylvie, not including how many other awards we're still looking to find. So I just find
and by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off. I still think that Mobius is a Loki.
No.
We'll see. He's a variant. I think it's been
logic.
I think it's established he's a variant. They do seem to have a connection now. You never know. I just think it'd be kind of one of those swerves that will, help drive my theory. My theory is based almost entirely on swerves, not necessarily on reasoning and fact, but I'm going to pull for it that he is a Loki. Maybe he's a low-key Loki, but I still think he's going to be a Loki nonetheless. I'm going to keep talking so that she can't talk and you can't talk, and then we'll run out of time of like, hey, I had the last word. He's a Loki.
So I would just say that the possibilities that happening are very slim, but anything is possible.
I'll take it as a victory.
Maybe every single TVA agent is secretly a Loki.
Why not? Maybe Loki made the TVA. What kind of mischief could you do than screw up everybody else's timeline?
Yes.
Yeah. It is a fair possibility that everybody is a Loki variant.
Including.
Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to leave it at that. No.
The Miss, what's her name? The clock?
Miss Mischief.
Miss Minutes?
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes. She is the digital version of Loki.
She is.
Could be.
The staple guy, the paperclip from Microsoft Windows, he's a Loki.
Clippy?
Yeah. No, I'm a Loki
him.
too.
I miss him.
I'm a Loki.
So stand and be like, I'm a Loki.
I know. Are you a Loki?
We should make buttons.
So with that,
selling that one.
He's not a Loki. He's not one of us.
What was some of your takeaways from this episode, and what are some of the things that you are hoping will truly get answered? Because we've only got one more episode left. What are some of those things that you are hoping to get resolved, and some of the things that you got out of this episode?
I know she doesn't like this idea because I know it's kind of odd. I think that Loki and Sylvie are in love, and I know that they're each other, but come on. Like, you know,
they're the same person. It's weird and creepy.
It is, but like it's like you could cut the tension with a knife every scene that they're in.
But they said they didn't even know how to be friends, so I think that they are just BFFs, best friends.
I think that they are FWBs personally, but no, but yeah, that's where I'm thinking on it. But again, you got to think about with like supernatural characters and superheroes. I think all rules are off the table. I mean,
it's feasible. I just feel like it seems weird because it's like they're the same person, so they're in love with themselves.
That's the main thing I'm looking forward to get.
They're the same DNA.
Not really. She's got she's got an XY. I mean, come on. There's a little bit different right there.
I did think it was interesting that like it's I mean, obviously there's a whole world of alternate universes and that sort of thing, but it's weird to me that there's so many potential storylines of all of these people who all were from the same planet on these different timelines with these different stories, and they're all technically the same person. I don't even understand how the alligator one works, but you know, like the young Loki. I'm sure this is maybe an Easter egg that you found. I'm pretty sure that the crown he was wearing looked like maybe it was the young Thor crown with the little wings. Is that correct or no?
You mean this guy?
Yeah, how his crown has like those little wings. Is that like a Thor thing?
Wings?
Yeah, on the side. Like if you look at the thing, there's those ones sticking out on the left.
Okay, I see what you're. Yeah, it's got like the Hermes.
Yes.
Little wings on it. I can see what you're going with on that one a little bit.
And he said he's the one that killed Thor.
He did. That was pretty much what was his Nexus event. I kill Thor.
Now, with all these Nexus events involving Loki, I just want to do a shameless plug. Loki was featured in the the video that was shown by Disney earlier today. Lord Cash and I did a What If reaction video earlier. You can check that out on our YouTube video. But definitely take a look at that because Loki is going to be factored into at least one episode of that.
Yeah. So I think I missed the question as far as pertaining to Kid Loki.
What question? Well, I had just mentioned the crown thing. We were kind of going through this idea of like, you know, that there's so many images of him, so many versions of him, and you know, they all said in the end that they were all either better off alone, or that they only hurt each other, or they stabbed each other in the back, and then it was like even all together they did that to each other, and it was a bunch of Lokis all attacking a bunch of Lokis, which is
so, and to somewhat address the original question that AllThatPat brought up, the director / showrunner of the series has addressed the relationship of Loki and Sylvie, and then it's like,
I want to believe they're in love. Damn it!
he has one more episode. Tell him after.
Well, here's the thing. They can obviously, pull a swerve on us and give us a red herring, but she has said what her thoughts are on that relationship, on whether it will or won't happen. So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave the mystery still there.
Kissing.
All right. And then I thought too, the classic Loki, that was a sad story where he like basically, banished himself to his own area, but he was lonely, and they all, also seem to clearly realize at some point that they do care about Thor, and even though there's that love-hate relationship, there is still love in that relationship where they want to be close in some extent with his brother.
Right. Well, yeah, because he mentioned that he was able to trick Thanos and not get killed and have his neck snapped, and he pretty much drifted off as debris, inanimate debris, and then eventually found a planet, a world to kind of just grow old. But he pretty much said that he missed his brother Thor, and so as soon as he tried to reconnect, that was essentially his Nexus event, and the TVA was there to snatch him up and got him taken away.
Right.
So, like, it's essentially that whoever is behind the scenes also like has it out for him in some ways, like for Loki.
Depending on who that truly is. They may have it out for the Lokis of the world, because again, they may not like them.
Right.
They're all Lokis.
So, is there anything else that you're hoping that gets answered next week?
I mean, I like AllThatPat, although I don't think that they're necessarily in love, but we'll find out. That I am curious to see how that relationship is. I really want to see, obviously, who's behind the scenes, and I want to see what Mobius does to cause chaos at the TVA, because he's gonna burn it down.
Burn it all down.
Because he is Loki. Hey, next week, the same time.
Oh gosh.
It's
too hot for this. All right.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many Loki hats would you give this episode?
From 10?
Yeah,
this
1 to 10.
Episode, I definitely feel like it was interesting. I didn't expect all the different Lokis, a lot of humor.
Yep. I'd say 8 to 9 myself, because it was an episode. A lot of these Marvel shows fit this thing, but I'm never like looking at my watch saying, "Oh my God, when is this ending?" It flows. I'm always excited to kind of keep going.
It automatically got 7 out of 10 hats because Mobius and Loki were still alive. I was so devastated the episode before. I wasn't even I was so upset that Mobius got pruned, and then at the end I was like, "I'm Loki. What is going?" I literally got upset out loud. We were with his parents, and I'm like, "What just happened? That did not just happen!" These parents are laughing at me.
So, because they were still alive, it gets a somewhat, I don't want to say a low score.
No,
7. It starts with a 7.
Yes.
It automatically gets bumped up.
Gotcha. So that is the rock bottom. Is a 7.
Gotcha. Ready. So happy in my heart.
Yeah. What was your thoughts when he drives up in the little pizza cart vehicle? What was your, you actually got to see him. How did you react when you saw him?
I was just confused, honestly. I was wondering if there's a pizza part of his history, like maybe he was a pizza delivery driver. I mean, you never know. We don't know his backstory other than he's a Loki. But maybe he was low-key and he hit as a pizza truck driver. Okay.
But I do think obviously there was some humor in there, because it's a very serious moment. She's about to get eaten by the storm monster. Eliath, thank you. And this pizza truck with the boingy pizza. So and I actually thought it was going to be a Loki, and it turned out to be Mobius. So I was surprised for sure.
I dubbed this picture "Driving Miss Sylvie." So I thought I got a little kick out of that. The fact that she's in the back seat, and of course he's like, "Do you mind shutting the door? There's things going on here. Also, you really shouldn't jump into a vehicle of strangers.
Life lessons."
Yeah.
But of course she starts giving up. Looking like, you really are a Loki.
He did that to her.
Which I found amusing and everything. So, what do you think is going to happen with B-15? She's kind of locked away in this little prison, if you will. What do you think that we may see from her?
Well, I want to say before we get into that, I was surprised that she was in there and not like pruned. And I'm curious if E12 is actually pruned or also in maybe one of these prisons. Who was she? The one that remembered she was at the margarita place with
C20. She's dead. She's already been pruned.
Oh, okay.
Well, we just found out pruning is not kill people.
Right. So
if she pops up too, but
there's the possibility that we could see her, but based on how the episode ends, I don't foresee that C20 has much of a storyline.
Right.
But at least we realize that unless they pretty much they actually like killed her, if she's as long as she got pruned, then she lives on in the void.
Right.
Right.
So
I mean, I was, like I said, surprised she was in the prison. She seems tough and still, I guess, apparently useful to them. I have a feeling that, when Mobius gets there, he's going to find her and she's going to help him, clean up in there, is what I would assume.
Right.
So by chance, did you see the Deadpool reference?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
So instead of Deadpool, we had Gatorpool.
What?
That's a stretch, isn't it? I don't get the
Gatorpool.
Right, but okay.
Gatorpool.
Is that a real joke? What's on the side in my box?
Monsters. Something about monsters. I
have incorporated those monsters into that picture.
They're probably at work right now.
That's okay.
That is my other joke that I'm using for this episode. I thought that
you're explaining that.
It was one of those things where just I was typing out something Gatorpool. Gatorpool.
I told my niece that the best jokes that Uncle Patrick has are the ones that he has to explain, and she thought I was serious. She was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Their joke book.
Yeah. So I thought this episode was great. I really can't say that any of the episodes have been bad. The only one that is lacking, so to speak, was episode 3, which I think that seems to be the common trend from both WandaVision to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier to now Loki. The 3rd episode seems to be the weakest.
Well, they need to ebb and flow.
Right. Well, just at least with WandaVision, that there was 9 episodes. So it was kind of, the end of Act 1.
It didn't feel long enough, the 6.
I concur. I would much rather like an 8 or a 10 episode, but that's just me because I'm greedy.
Now, are they coming out with a movie that involves Loki down the road?
Coming out, he might be involved in that. I mean,
nope. According to Tom Hiddleston, he is not involved in Love and Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Because as of right now, his character is dead.
Right.
Now, depending on what happens at the end of next week's episode, if they dissolve the TVA and possibly he's able to, establish himself outside of the TVA and maybe gets dropped off after the events of Endgame.
Right.
Who knows?
That's what I kind of thought would maybe happen. But obviously they've killed off other characters, so.
Yeah. But again, it just supposedly I feel like I've heard that there's going to be a season 2 of Loki.
Oh.
But don't hold me to that.
Oh, I will. I will.
This is you, Lord Cash.
Well, maybe what season 2 is it what's Sylvie going to potentially turn into?
Enchantress.
So maybe that will be future series.
Could be. So, well, we have been talking for about 30 minutes or so. Are you ready to dive into those Easter eggs, or do you have other things you want to tell me?
No, let's take a look at those Easter eggs.
Make us an omelet.
I will make you an omelet, and I'm going to use MCU Easter eggs to do it.
He didn't even get it. He didn't get the joke.
I grabbed it and I ran with it.
I had to see the visuals, and then I understood it.
Yeah. Light bulb.
Ding.
Alrighty. So right off the bat, the name of the episode is in itself an Easter egg.
Isn't it the first issue of Thor?
I don't know if it was. I think potentially yes. So you've got the Journey into Mystery, which is a comic series that eventually became like the Marvel run, I believe. And again, you have Loki and Thor that were introduced into these comics. So Journey into Mystery. But yeah, that's basically where they came from.
I actually knew that. I didn't make the connection, but as soon as you actually said the title out loud again, I'm like, that's their comic appearance. I don't even like Thor, but I remember that.
Right.
For Loki.
Yeah. Because Thor's a Loki too.
Well, duh. We're all Loki. I think we didn't make those buttons.
Yeah.
We're all a little Loki here.
I love it.
So we'll work on that New York Nerd Show merchandise for you. So one of the okay. Officially the oh my gosh, what is his name now? It's escaping me. Who was the big theory in WandaVision? Who were we looking for?
Oh, Mephisto.
Mephisto. I'm like, Macbeth was in my head, and I'm like, that is not right.
That is not to be.
That is not to be. So with that, the new train is steaming along with the big bad from this series is Kang. Now, are you familiar with Kang a little bit?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know who it is. But I don't. No, I mean, I know.
He's the cousin of King Kong.
No, he's the sister of Krang.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't know much about him, but it was like in the comic cards. I can remember seeing him, but yeah. So no, I don't know anything about Kang other than how to spell his name, I think.
Gotcha. Well, one of the things that it's been confirmed is the fact that he is going to be in the new Quantumania movie, so the new Ant-Man film. So with that, the one thing that is being tied into it, and you saw that little picture that I had with Iron Man in it as well, is because as you're rolling through the new cityscape of this desolated area, you're going to notice that you have the Stark Tower in the top right-hand corner.
Yep.
Okay.
And instead of having Stark Tower or Avengers, you have QENG, which is a kind of a version of Kang, and basically in the comics, that is who it was actually sold off to, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Griffon, a man ultimately revealed to be one of the many, many, many identities of Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
So it is again kind of just a little bit of a thing, a little nod to possibly seeing him either in this show, but definitely in the new Ant-Man series.
Okay, interesting.
Now, we talked about Alioth earlier, but literally that is ripped directly from the comics.
Okay.
It is basically this purple cloud that just comes in and just eats everything. So I thought that was a nice little, not homage, but again, he also has ties to Kang. So I'm curious. And the thing is the fact that we have Renslayer. Renslayer frees Alioth, and then of course Renslayer has to get Kang's help to kind of defeat it. So I doubt they're going to go down all that road. But again, there's definitely some ties here, so there's a possibility. This is a pirate ship.
Yep.
This is a UFO. There's nothing that,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
It could be.
I know there's random things there. Did you guys notice also that there was the Sphinx?
Yes.
So it wasn't necessarily like a New York City aspect. It was taking in a lot of different like random things. And there's Stonehenge in the background too.
Yes. And that's also another tie-in to Kang, because he actually goes back in time, becomes like Ramen Tut, and like rules Egypt. That was like one of the first incarnations of Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
So that was kind of a little homage to whatchamacallit. Now, when we're like talking about the Sphinx, everything, you see kind of the Goliath kind of chasing after the pizza car. By chance, did that look anything? Did that ring any bells to you?
That I haven't had Pizza Hut pizza in a while, and I kind of have a craving, but nothing in particular.
And we're referring to Goliath, like kind of what he looks like.
An octopus.
Yeah, I mean, there are like, it looks almost like tentacles there in all seriousness.
So for me, my brain went to another movie outside of the Disney universe bubble, and that
poster.
So Harry Potter.
Okay.
This was taken from the Deathly Hallows. You have the Death Eaters kind of circling around and basically blowing up this house they were living in. So that is kind of where my mind went. So you're looking at this picture here.
Right.
Definitely, you've got those images of Goliath as it's swirling around. At least that's where my mind went. I was like, oh, those look like Death Eaters. So, let's see. By chance, I'm gonna jump ahead to this just because it was the cool thing. Did you see the Ghostbuster tie-in?
Yes or no?
I'll just say no. I'll say no.
It was in the bowling alley, and it featured the kid Loki as he's sitting on his throne, and they're doing their toast. He has in his hand.
Oh yeah, Hector Cooler. Yeah, no, I did see that, and I actually pointed it out because that is a vintage carton of Ecto Cooler, not the remake, because it had Slimer on it, which shows that his event that made him go to this realm had to have occurred before 1998.
Or just the TVA got rid of all of the Ecto Coolers with Slimer on it, and they all end up in the void, and that's what he's been chugging on for this past 20, 30 years.
Yes.
I need you to just prune me right now.
Yeah.
I want some Ecto Cooler.
Random that his chair that he sat on had all those like candy canes around them.
Right. Well, again, it looked very similar to it had a very Christmassy vibe to it. So I'm sure when this place got absorbed in, it was all decorated for the holidays or something, maybe.
Right.
Now, I do, since you are our residential or game nerd, by chance did you notice this video game?
Yeah, Polybius. Yeah, it's not even. It's it's not really a real game. It's a legendary game that supposedly exists. There's been evidence that it's a big urban legend of a game. But yes, I did notice the Polybius.
So the reason why it got disappeared is because the TVA pruned it.
Exactly.
So, but there was that video game there listed. Some of the other stuff that we've seen as they are doing this big panning shots, you get to see certain things, such as this little image there. Do you see the thing in the bottom left-hand corner? Do you know whose helmet that belongs to?
Is that supposed to be? No, I don't know actually.
That would be none other than Yellow Jacket.
Oh, he's my favorite. I loved him, and I've actually never heard of him. I was just being sarcastic.
He only knows a Blue Jacket.
Okay. definitely, get some different colors in there. I think you would probably look better. Well, not better, but just look good in red or green. Those would also do you well, depending on what what the weather is.
Yeah, as long as it has tails, I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Yellow Jacket was the villain in the first Ant-Man movie.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't even remember that then, but I remember we watched the movie for sure. But yeah.
But technically, in that movie, he only goes small, whereas later Scott Lang learns to go big. So maybe this is one of those realities where he stuck around and was able to figure out how to go big and got pruned, and that's his helmet laying there. Before we went on the air, I was trying to find the photo of this, but they passed by this little space or this little contraption vehicle here. I heard rumors that this is one of the planes that was featured in Captain America: The First Avenger that had all the missiles on them. I don't believe I see any cities that are on this, but definitely nice little homage to again something else in the world of the MCU. This one was probably I noticed it right away, and I go, wait a minute, and I had to do a little research. But sure enough, did you notice this? Something.
Thanos is a helicopter from WandaVision. Well, I'm mixing too much stuff, but that's a Thanos helicopter.
I'm gonna say it has Thanos on it because there actually was a Thanos chopper that he uses in the comics, as well as if you've ever played the Lego game, Marvel game, there is actually a vehicle of Thanos helicopter that you can unlock as you play. But again, as you see, they made a Hot Wheels toy from it. So I thought that was highly, highly amusing.
Yeah. Funny is like I've got to go. Like, you and I play the Lego games a lot, and I almost feel like I have to go back into those games now that I've been exposing myself even more to the Marvel universe.
Now, one of the this is not really an Easter egg, but one of the funniest lines in this show was delivered by Loki at the very beginning of the episode, and that basically was this.
All I know is I got pruned, and I woke up here, and now I'm surrounded by variants of myself, plus an alligator, which I'm heartbroken to report I didn't even find all that strange.
There you go. Yeah.
The fact that the alligator he's like, to be honest with you, that did not even bother me. The fact that there is a Loki alligator, I found that to be highly, highly amusing.
Right.
Now, the one thing that as I did not catch, I caught this. The fact that as they're going from the going down into the hideout, you actually do get to see Mjolnir.
Yep.
By chance, did you see what was with Mjolnir?
I feel the time I did, man, but like Mjolnir really took attention for sure.
There were like 5 million cafeteria trays for
something. Oh yeah.
That is very true. So here they are. They're going into the little basically sub basement. It starts to pan down through the dirt. You see all those trays. You see Mjolnir, and then bam, right there. Did you see it?
There's something moving.
Yes, there was something moving. Something incredible. I give you Throg.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all week. What's Throg?
Throg is the Thor version that is a frog. Loki turns him into a frog.
Okay.
And so if you actually notice on the canister, it says T365.
Okay.
Of course, if you notice that's the Mighty Thor 365, if you notice the little caption on it, this issue, Thor leaps into a new secret identity.
I would love that cover 366. Like I would buy that if I saw it because it looks so ridiculous.
In 364, he gets turned into it. And I think at the end of 366, he is transformed back into normal Thor. And
something moving, but I asked AllThatPat, I was like, was that a bug or something? But we didn't bother pausing.
I'll show it again, and you can kind of see it there. He's jumping. He's trying to get to Mjolnir.
Is there a reference, though? Is there a point to the trays, though? Because that's...
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely see that super clear now. But, like, is there a reference to having lunch takeout trays? Because why would they have that and not just, like, random junk? Like, why was there takeout trays and nothing else? Like, school cafeteria trays.
I guess it's above the bowling alley. I honestly don't know. But as I was going through and grabbing screenshots, I was like, oh my gosh, that was Throg. That made me so happy. The fact that I saw that definitely sent me over the moon.
Right.
When we go back to the, because I know we go away and we come back to the Loki's den, we see a box of Roxy wine, which I have a feeling that was picked up at Rocksmart, which we see in 2015.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a division of Roxxon, which again is a bad corporation within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I thought that was kind of cool. Another thing that we see is when Mobius is driving up, we see on the bottom left there is a drive-in theater sign. I had the privilege of looking at, kind of zooming in and seeing it, but in the bottom you do see Oswald and the Martians.
Yep, another one says days above. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like they're open days, weekdays or something like that. What's also interesting is that was Wrightsville Theater, which I didn't get a snapshot of it, but one of these screens at the TVA had Wrightsville, Pennsylvania as one of the Nexus events that they had to go take care of.
Interesting.
Now, I'm sure you're familiar with who Oswald is, right?
The Lucky Rabbit.
That is correct. There is actually a cartoon, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit in Mars.
Right.
So that was one of the cartoons that was playing at this theater, most likely.
Well, and he was one of those characters that disappeared from Disney lore back in the day, which led to the Epic Mickey games. And basically, his Nexus event may have made him disappear, and he's been in the void all this time. So, there's your little, at least how I see it, little connection. I didn't notice that until you showed it now, but that's why I'm jumping to conclusions anyway.
We'll call Universal Pictures the Void.
There you go.
And then, of course, we talked about the whole President Loki, vote Loki and everything. Stolen directly from the comics was the Vote Loki comic series. His whole platform, if you notice on the picture on the right, the comic cover, where it was believe, but right in the middle, he told you straight up he was going to lie to you.
Yep.
So that was his whole campaign, was like, I'm going to lie to you, but I'm going to take care of you, type of thing.
Right.
Now, of course, there's the space mission game, which really there's nothing connected to it. I kind of was looking to see if there was. They're not. It's just a pinball game.
It's funny is that BitOfRits and myself, we used to own an actual store, and behind us was a pinball shop, and that was one of the pinball machines that they had. So when I saw that, I was like, I used to play that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we talked about earlier, all the different versions, all the variant Lokis. If you look on the left-hand side, you have our Loki, then you've got two other Lokis, and then you've got another Loki right there in the middle. Does that Loki look familiar?
He just vanished.
Huh?
He just vanished.
So I'll give another look. Basically, it's from President Loki to, and between our Loki and President Loki, he's right there in the middle. It looks like his hair is kind of up as horns. I'm taking him away now. And that's because in the second episode, when they had all the holograms of the different Lokis, looks very similar to Rasputin Loki, as I've kind of dubbed him.
Oh.
And then, of course, there was all your different versions of Loki. You've got your ogre Loki, your Viking Loki in the background, which, of course, you've got that as a one of the variants, as well as your Viking Loki, kind of taken directly from the comic books itself. So we never really talked about some of we pointed them out, but we never actually showed the visuals. Yes.
Where was Cat Loki? I saw that on your little image there, and I'm a big fan.
I don't know. He probably has a perfect hiding place.
Yes.
That was catastrophic.
Hopefully, alligator or crocodile Loki didn't eat him.
Well, his next event was eating the wrong neighbor's cat.
It is true. He does say that.
So then we have the USS Eldridge, which drops in from the sky. Are you familiar with of this craft? This I won't say spacecraft, but that's not right. Or it could be right.
Board game Battleship.
Uh-huh.
Typically was between B3 and B6.
Excellent. The other thing, if you've ever heard of the Project Philadelphia, the Philadelphia experiment.
No, but I've seen the project in Philadelphia.
Okay. So basically, rumors has it that they experimented on this. What is the word I'm looking for? Not spacecraft, but
Vessel.
Yeah, we'll go with vessel. And basically had it transported from one place to another. The crew that were on it kind of disappeared and this and that. So a lot of mystery are around this this vessel. And of course it is attacked very quickly once it drops down by Goliath.
Yeah.
This one, I saw it and I had to do some little work on it. And once I found it, I was very pleased with this. The license plate, because that is very common to hide stuff in. The letters are GRNW1D. And that has ties to Mark Grindelwald, who was one of the animators for Marvel and was the template for Mobius.
Ah, I see it on the dash.
Yeah. Basically, that's kind of where he gets. And if you look at the larger thing at the top, it says, "Truly, this is the job I was born, that is cloned to do." So I'm curious if by chance there are going to be other versions of Mobius in the TVA, because again, we have the issue where Renslayer says, "You're not my only agent out there," and of course he has all of the little rings that he has when he drops his drink, and he's like, "They're all by you." And he's like, "But I've never done these."
Mm-hmm.
So curious to see how that happens. I have no explanation for this. I just want to know, what is this creature? I'm calling it a void chicken.
I told AllThatPat it's like a peacock with its head cut off and a little ball head.
It's something. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that thing, but they showed it a few times.
Now we're gonna get into some of those other things that were hidden in the background of the episode. So as we're doing this nice little pan shot of all the Lokis and Mobius there, on the left-hand side, you see this long ship. Have you ever seen that ship before within the cinematic universe by chance?
Not sure.
I don't believe so.
So the looks very similar to like the Dark Aster, which is the Kree warship that Ronan, the Accuser, uses in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie when trying to go after Star-Lord and everything to acquire the Power Stone.
Gotcha.
So it's the ship that goes and tries to attack Xandar, the Nova homeworld, at the end of the movie that gets blown up. So potentially maybe it survived and the TV had to step in and prune the whole ship. I don't know. So there was that one. Let's see. what the other thing that I found amusing, and I was like, "Aw," when Mobius takes the time pad to go back to the TVA and gives Loki, a hug. Loki's like, goodbye, friend, and actually, I feel like he means it. But then looks at Sylvie and goes, "You're my favorite," which I found amusing. It kind of almost gave me Wizard of Oz vibes. Basically, it was like, and Scarecrow, I'm gonna miss you most of all. I'm just like, wow, Tin Man and Lion are right here. Another thing that we see kind of right there in the middle of the screen, you see kind of a multi-faced statue head.
Yeah.
And that is taken from the Living Tribunal, which is not the first time we've had reference to him. When Doctor Strange is being trained at the sanctuary that he was hiding in. What is his name? Who's the bad guy he fights?
And Doctor Strange, I'm not sure.
Okay. Mordo. I think that's right. He fights. He's getting trained by him, and he has like the staff of the Living Tribunal. So I thought that was kind of a nice little nod. Now, as classic Loki is walking away, we happen to see in the background, a helicarrier in the background. So you've got this big helicarrier shield here. But if you notice on the helicarrier that I showed, there is the image of S.H.I.E.L.D. in yellow there. Now I'm going to use my CSI skills, and I'm going to
logo.
Pardon?
Is it the Hydra logo?
I'm going to enhance, and you'll see it kind of red. So that's definitely a kind of a Hydra logo on the back of it.
Yeah.
So again, at the end of Winter Soldier, there was those 3 helicarriers that were supposed to go up to maybe have that. I can't even think of the words I'm looking for, but they were supposed to find out threats to the to S.H.I.E.L.D. and everybody. And maybe if Captain Steve Rogers, Captain America didn't stop it, then maybe all of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have taken over by Hydra, and these would have been Hydra stuff.
Right.
So, who knows?
Awesome.
And then pretty much that kind of wraps up the last bit of Easter eggs. Last week, I kind of showed the credits where they're pretty much the same. Some clips are shorter, long, whatever. But there's 2 segments that are definitely different each week. And that is the locker in the poster in the locker. So we get a different one this week, as well as the photos that they show. This one, you've got Boastful Loki, you've got President Loki, Kid Loki, Classic Loki, as well as Alligator Loki, all being shown in these photos, which again, they've been changed out each week with kind of what's happened in that episode, as if the TVA is still monitoring what's going on.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that kind of wraps up what I have for the Easter eggs. What do you think? There's some good stuff in there that you, when you go watch it again, you'll kind of pay a little attention to some of those?
Oh, definitely. It reminds me of some of our WandaVision episodes where there was a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of a lot of learning to be done. I didn't see half that stuff. I don't think either of us did, but definitely we enjoy the show, for sure. And we can't wait for the final episode next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday is going to be the last one. I'm sure it's going to pull out all the stop. It's going to be a bit of a doozy, if you will. So I can't wait to check that out.
Awesome. We do hope that you check out some of our other shows as well. You are watching I Stream, You Stream, which we're currently covering the Loki series. Tomorrow is Funko Royalty, where we take a look at the various Funko Pops in Lord Cash's collection, and also just in the series in general. Saturday is mail call mail time. We'll tell you some of the things that have come in the mail recently. Sunday is Call of the Wild. Monday is Crazy Card Collecting. Tuesday, Slam Nation Wrestling. Wednesday is the Game Room. And then, like we just alluded to, next Thursday, we're going to hit you up with the final episode of the season for Loki on Disney+.
Is it alluding to when you say it straight out?
No.
Maybe.
Well, we do thank everybody for joining us tonight on the New York Nerd Show. Wonderful evening to everybody.
I pressed pause after his first word. That's why you froze.
Oh, yeah. So again, we thank you for coming out tonight or turning on your computers tonight. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You get all the different episodes that we do, including some of the super extra shows that we did, a couple of them this morning even. Check out YouTube. We have a variety of different episodes already in our catalog. I think we're up to 200 at this point.
Almost. I think we're at like 190.
Well, there you go. It's coming fast and furious. We'll get those 200 pretty soon. BitOfRits, anything else that you would like to say?
No, thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Excellent. Lord Cash, have a wonderful night. And everybody else, enjoy your evening as well.
That's right. So if you can stream it, go watch it.
Adios.
Hello?